Hello, my little wombats. Hello, little creatures. Welcome to Lugal's world. Today we're going to have an amazing friend here, a new friend, who is a conspiratorial, wholesome astrologer. And you must book him. You need to go book him, support his work, support everything he's doing. They're in the description. And everyone, if you're not subscribed, subscribe, like. I want you to comment about what's happening in the United States. He's going to be opening up the world of astrology for us. He has a very sacred and devoted heart to all of the gods and all of those energies. So I hope everyone will really be enriched by everything he's saying. So yeah, tell us about what's going on in the United States astrologically.
Thanks, man. Yeah, thanks for having me. Really great to be on your channel, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk about some spicy astrology to come up over the next few months, particularly if you're in America. And I'm not in America, so I can be a bit more detached about these things, maybe. Then yes. Yeah, so we thought we'd have a chat about the April 8th total solar eclipse, and do a little short, sharp bullet point thing on the main set, sort of the main energies, the main archetypes, and maybe some things to be aware of and be prepared for coming into that. Does that sound good?
Yeah, please.
Lovely. So yeah, we are our last eclipse season. So eclipse seasons sort of come in roughly 6-month cycles. The last one we had was in October of 2023. Which was pretty hectic, because that's sort of when let's say festivities kicked off in the Middle East that the world's currently sort of going through at the moment. And the idea with eclipse cycles is that they sort of the events which are initiated at the start of the eclipse cycle have some sort of culmination at the end of it, and then we move into a new cycle after that. So because one of the main things that happened in that eclipse season was certain things to do in the Middle East, we might expect some sort of global or more worldly geopolitical thing to do with that. But then to do with America in particular, definitely very significant. So it's been dubbed the Great American Eclipse in some circles, because actually the visible path of this total solar eclipse makes an X over the mainland of the United States, based on the path of the 2017 total solar eclipse, I think it was, which was the first one after Donald Trump, aka the Moonchild, was elected. And so it could be a significant development in his timeline as well, to sort of put it that way. And the start of the path of the eclipse actually starts at Texas, so right on the Texas-Mexico border.
Wow.
And we've got a lot of things going on there at the moment as well. And so it could well be some sort of trigger event to do with what's going on at the border in America. And it could even be, some sort of separation event potentially that could be on the cards as well, given the eclipse will be going right, basically starting to be visible right over the Texas border. So definitely eyes on that development. And just I think it will be a very significant moment for American history, for American culture, for American politics, because you guys are also in the middle of your Pluto return as well. So that's sort of the 250-ish year cycle that Pluto takes to make its way around the zodiac. So tropical astrology, the return started technically 2022, but sidereally, so the actual position in the sky, basically 2024 is the peak of that energy. So you've got this very interesting, spicy eclipse combining with the Pluto return, which is unearthing what's been kept underneath for a long period of time, bring that to the surface, and that initiating a period of fairly intense transformation and trauma, trauma and transformation are probably the sort of the shadow and the.
So is
and
this,
the light.
which god would you say is over this primarily, for people who maybe do magic or do devotionals or something? Which energy do people need to harmonize with? Which aspect of the divine is the culprit here for Americans?
Great question. So hard to avoid Pluto, given you guys in your Pluto return. So I guess turning trauma into transformation is a big one, and into healing. And
so
healing
the underworld, maybe.
Indeed. So we'll see the underworld of America exposed to an extent that it hasn't been before, I'd say. But I actually, if we could have one word, it will be healing. So you've got Pluto, but then you've got Chiron is actually exactly. So Chiron is exactly conjunct the solar eclipse,
Awesome.
and that's one of the most powerful, I think, celestial gods / archetypes. So it's the centaur.
One.
Yes, indeed. So it's the Wounded Healer. If for those who don't know,
everyone comment Wounded Healer right now.
Indeed, yeah. So that's we want to be the light of the Wounded Healer, which is acknowledging what our wounds are, where they are, where we hold the most hurt, the most trauma. And we combine that with Pluto. Pluto is bringing that up. So Pluto is giving us that energy to bring to find where that trauma is, to lift it up, to elevate it, and then to turn it into something that is positive and transformative. And so that's the main thing I see, with Chiron being basically exactly conjunct where the sun will be on that eclipse. Which will be very close to, obviously, because it's an eclipse, will have the sun conjunct the lunar nodes. So actually right now, today, Chiron is exactly conjunct the true north node, the position of the north node, which is
this is the day that it starts.
I think it's very close to being exactly conjunct around now.
Wow.
Yeah, so so it will still be pretty much there in April, on April 8th. I think it will be exactly conjunct the degree of the sun on the day of the solar eclipse. So that's this Wounded Healer archetype will be highly activated. If you combine that with Pluto, and there's a lot of archetypal.
And I also wanted to say one thing real quick. So for everyone who's struggling with pain in their body, their mind, I know there's a lot of mental illness, I am doing for free Medicine Buddha chantings on Discord. I've been doing it, but I want to bring it to YouTube Live. So if people are interested, please comment when you might be available and when you'd like to do it. If I have one person who's willing to come and do it, I will do a live here on YouTube and do 108 through the Medicine Buddha chant and give everyone who needs healing. Because I believe through chanting and through the Medicine Buddha, we can unlock our inner healer. So that's available to everyone to harmonize with that Chiron energy and bring that healing to really everyone that we know and ourselves, because when we heal ourselves, we heal the world. So please continue.
Lovely, dude. Yeah, it's the perfect time to be doing that. So you're really picking up on that Chiron energy for sure. And doing those things around April 8th will be like just crazy powerful, I'd say.
April 8th, everyone. Let's do the healing session. Let's make it happen.
Yeah. And so what I would suggest, if we sort of wrap this up, find out if you're astrologically minded, find out which house this eclipse will be occurring in your personal chart, because that's the domain of life where this healing can most be activated or sort of channeled or expressed. So if the eclipse is occurring in, let's say, your fourth house, a lot of this healing will be happening in terms of the home, in terms of family, in terms of our childhood.
How do they
roots.
find that for people who are not the most astrology savvy? How do they know that? Is that pretty straightforward for finding where it is? Is that just where the sun is in a transit chart?
Yeah, yeah. So
chart?
so that's the easiest way to do it. If you sort of just pulled up a synergy chart, so starting with your birth with your birth chart, and then the synastry chart will bring up the second ring around that, which will be the transit. So if you have that synastry ring for April 8, and then you'll be able to see in relation to your chart where the sun.
Do you know? Can you give everyone the time of that so they can use this video to reference that?
Yeah, sure. So the eclipse will be happening. It'll be on the 8th of April, United States sort of time. And so if you bring it up, that should be hopefully precise enough.
You know the time? Does the time matter?
If you're doing it in relation to your own chart, the timing shouldn't matter too much as long as you have the date right. Because then you'll see where it fits in relation to sort of your chart and in your personal houses. So that's what you want to. You're going to see this outer ring where the eclipse will sort of be in relation to your own chart. And
they're looking for where Chiron is, or they're looking for where the sun is.
So you'll sort of see in that chart, you'll see the moon, you'll see the north node Rahu, you'll see the sun, and then you'll see Chiron all together, and they'll be within pretty much a few degrees on the zodiac. And so wherever that stellium falls in relation to your chart, that's the area of your life where you'll most be feeling this really, really full-on healing. Like,
wow, amazing.
It will feel like there'll be trauma for sure.
So so all the planets, a lot of the planets, like, is it like, wow, that's amazing. It's how many planets are like in the same place.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy. It's a crazy astrological lineup because you've got this eclipse, as we said, and you've got Chiron and right there, and then you've got Saturn and Mars, basically 2 degrees away from each other to one side, and then you've got Uranus and Jupiter about 2 degrees away. There's a lot going on there. So I think for everyone watching who's following Lugal, yeah, if I make that a priority to get your head around where this eclipse will be happening in your chart and start to really, really get in your head what the positive manifestation of the Wounded Healer is in your life, in that area of your life, and just start to have some sort of affirmations, some key words in your head, which combine the sort of planetary energy with your own chart energy, and just keep that front of mind and keep that positive manifestation of those archetypes front of mind as we sort of lead up to April. So, you know, you might, if you're sort of into magic, you might sort of do some sigils, you might do a few little things to sort of honor that energy. If you're more rational, you might just journal or do little notes, or sort of come up with some, if you're more creative, you know, come up with some art, some haikus, anything like that, which sort of starts to really positively manifest what this archetypal energy will look like. That's my advice anyway, and that's what I'll be doing as well. So yeah.
So thanks everyone who is supporting this channel. I love you, my little creatures. Please, if you feel called, book a session with him, go in the description, support his work. If you appreciate, if you've gotten some benefit from the people I've had on the show, please consider booking a tarot session with me. I bring out Kabbalah. I bring a lot of my 10 years of spiritual work into what I do, as well as you can give a donation if you want to buy me some mushroom supplements or something. So yeah, leave a comment if who like some more questions for him. I want to have him back on the show. We want to know what are you interested in hearing about, as well as comment about what he talked about. How are you going to heal How are you going to integrate those energies so that this community can thrive? Because they can read in the comments, get inspirations, and let's pump as much love as we can into this community and make it the cutting edge of the age of Aquarius. Let's be this wave that elevates the vibration of the world at a very high, like intellectual, but also in the practical and spiritual aspect. Thanks to each and every one of you who has watched. Peace and shalom.